Prepare the racecourse grounds for the surrender ceremony. Order our troops to cease all hostilities immediately and call General Manik Shah. Tell him that Jake said it's bloody humid in Bangladesh.
Dacca is free. Bangladesh is free. The people of Bangladesh are free.
Hey everyone, you're watching Book Cafe podcast, and this is Book Cafe Reviews. Today we will be reviewing the book entitled Surrender at Dacca, Birth of a Nation by Lieutenant General JFR Jacob. So today is an auspicious day. It's the 16th of December 2023, and this is Bangladesh's 52nd Victory Day after declaring independence on 26th March 1971. And I just want to take a moment to talk about Lieutenant General JFR Jacob and what this book is all about. So Lieutenant General JFR Jacob is a war hero. He was a Baghdadi Jew who was also an Indian national, but he was also Bengali by culture because he grew up in Kolkata, West Bengal, and obviously it has cultural ties with Bangladesh. So he was a Bengali Jewish officer for all intents and purposes. He was fluent in Bengali and he played a massive role in the liberation of Bangladesh in 1971. So how exactly did that happen? Let me just put that in perspective. When the Declaration of Independence took place on the 26th of March 1971, the Pakistani occupying forces had already launched Operation Searchlight a day before. And because of this upheaval, the powers that be wanted to end this as quickly as possible. So for the way that the Pakistanis had decided to end it was to crack down on insurgency as well as any secessionist movements. And the Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and her Chief of Army Staff Sam Manekshaw were debilitating on what to do, they were trying to figure out what to do. At that point in time, a military intervention was being mulled, but they decided against it because things hadn't actually deteriorated to that great an extent. But as time went by and the killings increased and the pillaging and the rape and everything kept taking place, they decided that it was time to militarily intervene because there were too many refugees that were going across the border into Indian territory. So almost 10 million people fled during that time. But Jacob, who was the Chief of Army Staff of the Eastern Command, decided against it and said that now was not the time to militarily intervene because they did not have enough men or boots on the ground. They didn't have any bridging vehicles. The monsoon season was about to start. So he negotiated with his superiors and stated that a military intervention in November of 1971 or December of 1971, after the monsoons were over, would be more fruitful. And the way that Jacob, just coming back to the book, the way that Jacob actually planned out the whole military strategy shows that he's a genius when it comes to tactics, when it comes to negotiation skills, when it comes to planning ahead. And it was him alone, more than anybody else, who can be credited with the military victory that Bangladesh enjoyed in 1971. Simply because when he went into negotiations with General Niazi on the 16th of December, his superior officers had asked him to go and negotiate a ceasefire. But he had other ideas. He decided to go in with a surrender document that he himself had typed on his own typewriter. And when he went to Niazi, he was actually quite surprised that why did this guy come to me with a surrender document rather than a ceasefire document. And Jacob just bluffed his way through that whole negotiation, saying that, look, if you and I die today, it's just an occupational hazard, but you obviously have officers here with their families and whatnot, so you don't let their blood be on your hands, and don't let them be sacrificed on the altar of your ego. So these, pretty much was the way that the negotiations went, and Jacob came out triumphant. And if it wasn't for this triumphant negotiation, it remains to be seen. Bangladesh may still have been the eastern wing of Pakistan. It may never have been liberated militarily. And instead of a 9-month war, we may have been in the same position as the people of Palestine or the people of Kashmir, where you continue to fight for rights and autonomy and independence, and who knows, it may never have, we may never have become independent if not for this one man and his supreme negotiation skills. So this is really something to think about, and I highly encourage everyone to pick up the book and to pay homage to Lieutenant General JFR Jacob on this day for what he did for our country, for what he did for Bangladesh. By the way, I also want to emphasize one last thing, that given the current climate where we see a lot of issues happening with Israel and Palestine, and whenever we say something negative against Israeli government policies, it's very easy for that to become an anti-Semitic trope. And so one of my motivations as a patriotic Bangladeshi as well as a religious pluralist is to show people that Lieutenant General Jacob, when he got a hold of the Pakistani soldiers, he rebuked them and said that you guys have behaved in a very unsoldierly manner. And for me, this brings tears to my eyes every time I hear it, that a Jewish officer would berate Muslim soldiers for what they did to their co-religionists during the war. And this is an extremely beautiful thing that he said. And it's a very emotive issue for me personally, because I really appreciate what Jacob did. And finally, one last thing I would like to say about the great man is that when he was showered with accolades about his role in the war, he always deflected it and said that the Mukti Bahini actually made his job a lot easier. They were the ones who created an atmosphere of terror that enabled him to go and negotiate with Niazi on a much stronger footing. So that's also the hallmark of a great man, that instead of taking all the accolades for himself, he pointed it towards the Mukti Bahini and said that they were the real heroes of the day. So General Jacob, and it's one of my greatest regrets in life that I wasn't able to interview General Jacob, because he sadly passed away in 2016 at the age of 93. So he would have been 100 years old if he was still alive. And we have people like Henry Kissinger who get to live up to 100, who called Bangladesh a bottomless basket. And we all know about his negatives and what he did and the kind of negative impact he left on the world. But the good people like Jacob, died just a little too soon. So if he had lived, I definitely would have loved to have had him on the show. I would have loved to have spoken to him about Bangladesh, but it's not to be. But we have a duty as Bangladeshi citizens to acknowledge what Jacob did, what he did for our country. We also have to acknowledge the contribution of the Indian soldiers who also celebrate this day as Vijay Divas, as Victory Day. And I hope that this helps to foster greater ties between India and Bangladesh. And for our Pakistani audience, who is also watching, I hope that they will also support what happened on this day. For every patriotic Pakistani, that they should come out with Bangladeshi flags and show solidarity with the people of Bangladesh. Because when those soldiers fired upon the civilians, let us remember that they were Pakistani citizens at that time, on the 25th of March 1971, when they opened fire. They were all Pakistani citizens. And that's something that no citizen of present-day Pakistan should ever have to accept. So for our audience members in Pakistan, I hope you will join us on this day and commemorate this victory, because it was important for us and it was important for you as well to know the true history of what happened on the 16th of December 1971. Long live Bangladesh, long live India, long live Pakistan. Let's create a better future together.